Everyone thinks AI will make them rich, but bubbles don't make millionaires. They collect victims. Sam Altman, the man who accidentally became the Pope of artificial intelligence, just said it out loud. Yeah, this might all be a bubble. Translation, we've probably lost our minds, but with spreadsheets and venture capital attached. It's funny and terrifying, because this feels exactly like 1999 all over again. Except this time, instead of websites with cartoon mascots, we've got language models with existential crises. The US stock market has nearly doubled in 5 years, not because productivity exploded, not because profits soared, but because 10 companies promised that AI would change everything. Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they're the new dot-com darlings. Only this time they burn electricity instead of cash and call it innovation. Sam Altman's already raising billions and casually talking about spending trillions on data centers. That's the kind of sentence that makes sense only if you're either building a new internet or buying the moon. So let's pause and ask the trillion-dollar question. If this really is a bubble, what are we actually buying? Because behind all the noise, AI doesn't print money. It burns it in silicon, steel, and electricity. Most headlines don't talk about real value. They talk about stock prices. AI's success is being measured not in revenue, but in how high the NASDAQ can go before gravity remembers it exists. It's like judging a restaurant by how expensive their forks are. When a company's market cap jumps by hundreds of billions, that doesn't mean billions magically appeared. It means the last buyer paid more than the previous one. It's not value, it's auction psychology. If one banana sells for $10, it doesn't mean every banana on Earth is worth $10. It means someone just paid way too much for potassium. Welcome to the modern stock market, where hope is the new currency and PowerPoint decks are collateral. To know if this is a bubble, we need to stop staring at stock charts and start counting what's real. The money, the chips, the energy, and the people. Because if we spend trillions and end up with a faster spell checker, that's not the fourth industrial revolution. That's just an expensive autocorrect with good marketing. The AI boom isn't made of dreams. It's made of servers, chips, and invoices. Just 4 companies, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft, spent around $3-4 billion on AI infrastructure in 2024. Verify source. That's over 1% of US GDP. For comparison, that's like the entire economy of South Africa evaporating into GPUs. And that's just the public spending. OpenAI isn't even a listed company, so we don't see the real numbers. But we know they've raised around $40 billion, and Sam's hinting he'll need trillions more for data centers. Plural. Meanwhile, China isn't sitting quietly. Its state-owned giants have already poured over $500 billion into AI infrastructure. Verify source. Unlike Silicon Valley, Beijing doesn't care about quarterly reports. It cares about technological sovereignty. They're not trying to build ChatGPT clones. They're trying to make sure the next chip shortage doesn't cripple their economy. Globally, total spending on AI hardware has already blown past $1 trillion before we even count electricity, cooling systems, or the poor engineers trying to fix hallucinated Python code at 3 a.m. Right now, data centers consume about 1.5% of global electricity, and according to the IEA, that could double by 2030. Verify source. Think about that. We might literally run out of power because your chatbot needed to write a poem about avocados. The US grid, built in the 1960s, running at 15% reserve capacity. China's, nearly 100%. So while America debates ESG policies, China's quietly plugging in millions of GPUs and preparing for the next industrial arms race, this time powered by electrons, not oil. And this isn't just a tech story. Electricity prices in the US have nearly doubled in 3 years. Verify source. That hits every sector: manufacturing, agriculture, logistics. So when your grocery bill jumps 15%, part of that might actually be your neighbor training his AI to write wedding vows. Goldman Sachs estimates new large-scale power capacity won't arrive until 28. Data center vacancy rates are under 3%. In other words, the AI boom has hit a literal wall. You can't scale intelligence faster than the grid that feeds it. It's ironic. AI was supposed to make us efficient. Instead, it's making us energy poor, liquidity tight, and emotionally bullish. But the real irony, almost 95% of companies using generative AI have reported zero return on investment. Verify source. Zero. Not low. Not disappointing. Just nothing. They thought AI would reinvent their business. It barely fixed their email templates. The few that actually see results aren't building AI-powered everything. They're quietly automating one dull but valuable task: invoicing, document parsing, fraud detection. The rest? They're just adding AI to their pitch decks. If AI isn't delivering results, why is everyone still throwing billions at it? Simple. Nobody wants to be the one who missed the future. The moment one company added AI-powered to its product name and its stock jumped, every other CEO rewrote their budget overnight. The corporate playbook became simple. If you can't build it, brand it. This is what fear of missing out looks like when it wears a suit. It's not logic holding the market up anymore. It's pride, ego, and peer pressure disguised as innovation. The same pattern appeared in the dot-com bubble, when companies added .com to their names and instantly doubled in value. In 2024, that magic word is A. Venture capitalists call this the biggest private tech bubble in history, which is impressive, considering these are the same people who once funded a $400 million juicer. Private markets let the fantasy run longer because there's no daily stock price exposing the cracks. A company can burn through billions, raise another round at a higher valuation, and everyone pretends it's going great. Meanwhile, public markets are even worse. The so-called AI optimism is concentrated in 10 megacaps: NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google, Apple, and a few others. Together, they've swallowed almost all of the market's oxygen. NVIDIA's valuation alone once surpassed the GDP of entire countries. Verify source. That's not normal. That's monetary distortion. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Bubbles are not built on lies, but on half-truths. The internet was real. The housing market was real. Crypto was real. But the valuations attached to them were fantasy. And AI? It's the same story. A powerful technology wrapped in impossible expectations. The dot-com bubble was fueled by retail investors with dial-up modems. The AI bubble is fueled by central banks with printing presses. The Fed's decade of cheap money created a generation of investors who believe interest rates will always go down and valuations will always go up. When capital is free, even bad ideas look genius. But now, rates are rising, liquidity is shrinking, and cash is finally expensive again. That's when illusions break. Yet companies can't stop. Because Wall Street doesn't reward patience. It rewards performance this quarter. The moment one CEO says, "We're cutting AI spending," their stock price tanks. So instead, everyone doubles down. They can't afford to look cautious, even when they're terrified. It's a textbook feedback loop. Media hypes AI, investors pile in, stocks rise, CEOs panic buy GPUs, and journalists write even bigger headlines. The system feeds on its own excitement, until one day it runs out of energy or electricity, whichever comes first. And while Silicon Valley is burning cash, Beijing is quietly playing a longer game. China knows the AI race isn't about chatbots. It's about industrial infrastructure. They're subsidizing chip factories, locking down rare earth exports, and wiring new data grids powered by domestic coal and nuclear. It's not clean, but it's strategic. The US may lead in models, but China leads in materials. And history shows that the side controlling the raw inputs, oil in the 1970s, semiconductors today, usually wins the long game. So when Western investors talk about AI disruption, Beijing talks about self-reliance. When Silicon Valley spends on cloud computing, China spends on physical grids. One side builds castles in the cloud, the other builds the ground they stand on. The irony is poetic. The West sells intelligence, but the East is buying the power to run it. Now, let's talk about valuation. Most AI stocks are trading at PE ratios that make 1999 look conservative. Estimate. NVIDIA's forward multiple recently flirted with 60x earnings. Microsoft's AI division, according to analysts, still loses money. OpenAI isn't profitable either, despite billions in revenue. Investors are not buying profits, they're buying prophecy, and prophecy has no cash flow statement. The warning signs are everywhere. Growth is slowing, margins are compressing, and yet capital keeps pouring in, because narratives pay better than numbers, until they don't. Look at history. When the dot-com bubble burst, thousands of startups vanished overnight. But out of that wreckage came Google, Amazon, and eBay, the boring survivors who actually built infrastructure instead of hype. The same thing will happen again. When this AI mania ends, most of the flashy co-pilot apps will disappear, and the winners will be the ones building chips, power grids, and cooling systems. The real gold rush was never about the gold. It was about selling the shovels. And right now, NVIDIA, TSMC, and power utilities are the shovel sellers. Everyone else is just hoping to strike data. The coming years will decide which nations can sustain this hunger for energy and data. Because intelligence isn't free. It's paid in watts, debt, and human attention. The countries that balance all three will lead the next century. So yes, the AI bubble will pop. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this year, but bubbles always obey gravity. When it happens, it won't destroy AI. It'll just deflate the hype, leaving behind the real builders. After all, every technological revolution starts with delusion, then comes destruction, and finally, discipline. This time won't be different. But if you survived the hype, you might actually get to build what comes next. When bubbles burst, they don't destroy technology, they destroy illusions. The dot-com crash wiped out thousands of companies, but it didn't kill the internet. It simply removed the noise. The same will happen here. The AI bubble will deflate, but intelligence itself, the real kind, will remain. What we're watching right now isn't innovation, it's selection. The market is filtering out the storytellers from the builders, and history shows it always ends the same way. Most people go broke chasing revolutions. A few get rich building what's left behind. After the dot-com crash, the survivors weren't the flashy ones. They were the boring ones. Google, Amazon, eBay, companies that quietly turned the chaos into systems. They didn't sell promises. They sold tools. And that's the secret every investor forgets. The infrastructure always wins. During gold rushes, you don't want to mine gold. You want to sell the shovels. NVIDIA and TSMC are today's shovel sellers. So are the power grid operators, cooling system manufacturers, and even the copper miners digging up the literal veins of the AI economy. Everyone else, the startups making AI-powered everything, are just tourists with a pickaxe. But this time, the stakes are bigger. Because the AI bubble isn't only a market story, it's an energy story, a geopolitical story, a monetary story. Behind every chatbot and image generator lies a web of factories, ports, and power plants. Whoever controls those wins the century. The US built the digital internet. China is building the